30 pairs of custom-made shoes because apparently he has strange-shaped feet. All of these details provided by the shoe shiner to the press. Not very flattering stuff, Tom.
No, indeed not, although I could probably do with a shoe shiner. Thankfully, my shoes are not visible.
Right.
But this, of course, isn't good news, is it, for the French president? The timing couldn't be worse. He had those disastrous municipal elections. He reshuffled his cabinet. He wanted a fresh start, and he's not getting it.
That's right. And it's now he's having to answer questions about his communications director and his private shoe shiner being summoned to the Élysée Palace. As you say, it's really not flattering. François Hollande was he was at the Michelin tire factory today, and so it was interesting to see how he was fielding those questions, while also being pictured with the Michelin man, which I'm not sure how flattering that is. But in any case, he was at the wheel of this car. He was also driving a car around the Michelin factory and making statements, very strong statements, such as, if I don't reduce unemployment, I will not. Why would I stand for re-election? So I think the idea was to make a strong declaration saying he wouldn't stand for re-election unless the figures on unemployment improved, to divert attention from this embarrassing shoe shiner scandal at the Élysée Palace. In any case, I think this cartoon does a good job of showing how effective that strategy was. This is a cartoon in the French press where you see François Hollande trying to take a selfie with the Michelin man, but Aquilino Morel, that communications director, photobombing the selfie. In other words, he is basically in the foreground, regardless of François Hollande's attempts to make that story disappear with, big declarations about unemployment and not standing for re-election. There you go, the
Goodness.
World of French politics.
Indeed. Well, that website, Mediapart, it's not new, is it? It's been a real thorn in the side of not just the political left, the political right as well. Everyone, perhaps, is in fear of Mediapart.
That's right. I think that the French media is sometimes accused of not really digging deep for political scandals, of being a little bit in bed with the powers that be, but certainly that cannot be said of Mediapart. It was set up by a former journalist for Le Monde, and you can see here on this graphic the amount of scandals they've broken in the last few years. It's an interactive graphic. That's Jérôme Cahuzac. I was just talking about him earlier on the top left, the former budget minister who had to resign after revelations about a bank account in Switzerland. But as you say, the political right as well. Nicolas Sarkozy would consider Mediapart one of the banes of his life, with several revelations by the website, including possible financing of his 2007 election by Muammar Gaddafi, who later was, of course, who died in awful circumstances that we are all aware of in that war in Libya. In any case, it's a website that's really making a name for itself for these big scoops at the expense of politicians.
Now, this final story you've picked out for us, so we were talking about shoes just now, and last week we heard about Hillary Clinton having a shoe thrown at her. So shoes seem to be very much in the news right now. What's this all about?
There's a sort of
Twitter
shoe theme across French Twitter, and it is mostly concerning, it must be said, the advisor at the Élysée Palace, Aquilino Morel. So you've all these, I just typed his name into Twitter, Tom, and it was just a barrage of feet and sort of bling bling shoes meeting my eyes all across French Twitter. Here there is a sort of a photo-shopped version of Mr. Morel shining shoes himself, and with people suggesting links to websites where you could actually buy his own do-it-yourself shoe shining kit, which I think defeats the whole purpose of having your shoes shone for you, which I think is his what he enjoys. And here you have a Republican guard shining his shoes. So I think a lot of people picking up on that and making fun of the issue. I suppose just generally in terms of image, it is damaging for François Hollande, because he did promise a republic beyond and above reproach. That was one of his slogans during the campaign. In other words, I am going to contrast in my style to Nicolas Sarkozy's bling bling style. My style will be above and beyond reproach. And with scandals such as this, unfortunately, it isn't good for that image of a socialist government above reproach, Tom.
You need to take a page out of the book of the new Pope, perhaps, who's promising a poorer church. Exactly. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks,
James Creedon. That was Media Watch. Well, it's time now for Focus. And with all eyes fixed on events in Ukraine,